What is going on, you guys? In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Armour Detail Wheel Cleaner, the Tire Cleaner, and the Tire Plus. Now, I am going to feature all of these products in this one video instead of doing each review individually, except for this product here. I will do an individual review because I feel like the wheels that we're going to clean today, they're not really dirty enough, in my opinion, to really test this product and see what we can do with it. But that being said, we will use all three of these products. All of them can be found in the description below the video, so you can go check those out afterwards. And then there's also a discount code TCDC10, which will save you 10% off at Armour Detail Supplies. Okay, so the first product here that we're testing out is Armour Wheel Cleaner. And it says right there, pH balance formula. 16-ounce bottle of this stuff cost me $27 Canadian plus tax. And so my hopes are pretty high for this because at 16 ounces for $27 there, it's going to be in line with Gion Wheel Cleaner and Koshikami Magic Wheel Cleaner. So those are two tough competitors for this product, and two products that I consider to be one of the best dedicated wheel cleaners that are non-acid out there anyway today. But this stuff here, just a little bit more about the product. As soon as you open it up, you can tell that it has iron removing chemical in it because it has that sort of sulfur smell. So like I said, I do have high hopes for this product. Working with a cool dry wheel and at the moment out of direct sunlight. And so the directions here just say shake well, which we're going to obviously do. And then you want to let it sit on the surface for 3 to 5 minutes, and that's why it's important to work out of direct sunlight. And then agitate the wheel cleaner with our wheel mitt and various brushes to reach all nooks and crannies of the wheel, of course, and then thoroughly flush away all chemical residue with a strong stream of water. So pretty standard stuff. But for the purposes of this test, because this wheel isn't too bad to begin with, I showed you kind of what we're dealing with, and that's part of the reason why I want to do a dedicated video on this product. I'm just going to spray it on, let it do its thing for 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'm going to pressure wash it off. So the first round, that's how it's going to go. Again, if you missed it earlier, I'll put discount codes and all the links in the description below the video, so you can go check those out after. Ooh, I do like how foamy it comes out. So because we're doing a touchless attempt here, it's very important to make sure that all parts of the wheel are at least coated with a thin layer of the product. So I kind of spraying at different angles here. If you can't get full coverage, you're not going to get full results. That's the way I see it. Hopefully you can see that. We're right up to there. So not much product used, and that's the benefit of a foaming product like this. So I love these trigger spares, by the way. I think when I run out of these products, if I don't replace them, I'm definitely keeping these. All right, I got the timer set for 5 minutes, and I'm just gonna let this do its thing and see what it can do. In the meantime, let's get our tire cleaner going here. Okay, ooh, same thing, super foamy. Oh, I really, really like these trigger spares. Again, thorough coverage. I'm not even done spraying the tire, and you can already see how much blooming it's pulling out of there. Wow. That is extremely good. Holy smokes. This stuff is good. Yeah, you can tell in the camera there how good it is. Oh, okay. By the way, I've got my mic clipped to my hat right now, so hopefully you don't hear too much breathing. You know what? So far, we're about 2 minutes in, and I'm seeing a lot of purple coming off of those wheels. I'm telling you, these two products right now, as a first impressions type of thing, they're working pretty well. The wheel cleaner has been going for almost 3 minutes now. The one thing I didn't mention about the wheel cleaner not the wheel cleaner, the tire cleaner here, is that this is a ready-to-use 16-ounce bottle, and it's diluted 1 to 2. So 1 part cleaner to 2 parts water. You can buy this on their website in the concentrate as well, and there's a few dilutions that you can use it at, which would be 1 to 1 for extreme, 1 to 2, which this is, and then 1 to 4 for lighter cleaning. And 1 to 4 is where I use most of my wheel cleaners, because that's all the Marilex and the IK foamers can handle. Continue to scrub this a little bit more. Okay, we're at exactly 5 minutes now since we originally started to spray the wheel cleaner. Before I rinse it off, let me just show you what we're dealing with. Take you in a little closer. Look at that. So you can see all that purple coming off of the wheels. And you can see the tires, just disgusting. And by the way, for those that don't know, what comes off of your tires isn't necessarily dirt. It's the anti-ozonate, that's what they call it, that tire manufacturers actually build into the rubber compound. And as you drive your vehicle, the centrifugal force pushes it out towards the surface, and that's why you get that browning on your tire. It's actually there to protect the sidewalls against UV. Now, if you saw the before shots, you saw that these tires are curbed pretty bad. And so if you're going to curb your tires, well, then you don't really need UV protection now, do you? So let's rinse this off and see what we get. Oh shoot. A little bit of overspray there, but it's not going to make a difference. Well, you can compare that yourself to the first round. Way less blooming getting pulled out of it. You can see some down below. But up here, that's pretty white. I'll give that another minute, and then we'll brush it and see what we get. So definitely a little bit of browning getting pulled out of it, especially down here. That could be because it's harder to scrub down here, but let's give this agitation and see what we got. So that is not bad at all. I'd be happy with that, and I don't think I'm going to waste any more product and hit it with the third round, because that's pretty good. And just so you can see, on one wheel, let's see how much chemical we used. Right there. What would you say that is? About 1.5 ounces? Who knows, but not bad. Let's give this a rinse, and then I'm going to dry the wheel off, and then we'll go in for an assessment. Alright, I think you can tell that did a pretty solid job. The wheel isn't 100% dry yet, but it's getting there. Alright, let's get you a little close up here. Let's see what we got. So So far that's completely touchless. I don't know what that is. There is a ton of overspray on this wheel. You can kind of see. She bought this vehicle used, and if you take a look there, so that's not removed, but there's definitely something agitation would be required for, and that is a part of the surface of the wheel itself. So a lot of paint defects here. So I can't speak of the product negatively, but that did a really good job on the brake dust though. But yeah, that's what we'd call a cheap wheel repair. And on the barrel, like I mentioned earlier, I don't think I got good coverage on the barrel, but right here, agitation would probably take this 100%, but overall that was pretty impressive. And in the barrel itself, it's still kind of wet, so that's just water. So it did a decent job. I'll have to go and review what the before looked like, but not bad at all. I would be able to get away with that if this was a coated. So this wheel was not coated with anything prior, but if it was, you could easily do a touchless wash and get like 90% of the brake dust off on a maintenance clean, no problem. And on the actual tire itself, it's too wet to tell right now, but you saw how with 2 rounds there of the tire cleaner, there wasn't much blooming left. So I wanted to quickly demonstrate that while the tire cleaner is on this side here, the wheel cleaner is on this side. I wanted to show that you can use it on tires. Nothing's going to stop you from doing that, but it's not going to do anything. See here, this is the dedicated tire cleaner, and this is a brand new tire with less than 500 kilometers on it, but it's still pulling out some of that blooming, where over here, just nothing. I can scrub that and it still won't turn brown, where here it's just running down the tire, already turning brown. So that's why these iron wheel cleaners, you can use them on tires, but just not recommended. However, the tire cleaner, you can use that on the wheel itself, and it'll do a fantastic job, like I showed on the right front in the short. So just keep that in mind. Now this stuff here is like tar, whatever this is. It's been on the wheel for a while. I don't think that this wheel cleaner is going to be able to remove it, but let's give it a shot. And just in case anybody was wondering, I don't know if you can tell, it has a little bit of a blue tinge to it, whereas this, it's a little bit of a purple tinge. You can actually see it better sitting there. Anyways, I'll bring you back in after I'm done cleaning. I am going to agitate this one, and then we'll see if we can get rid of that. It's only been a minute, but check this out. So that spot there, that's giving me high hopes. That tar is starting to melt away pretty good, actually. Here's some more. Again, I haven't given it the full amount of time, but wow, that's pretty good. Here too. I'll let the product keep working for its full 5 minutes, and then I'll agitate it, rinse it, and then I'll show you what it looks like. That's looking pretty good. That's looking very good. Look at that. I can't even confidently say where that that sort of tar buildup was anymore. There's a little bit there, I think. Wow, that did a really good job. Oh yeah, it was here, because I could see a little bit in the corners there, just a tiny bit. So with a bit more agitation. But I didn't go crazy scrubbing or anything, so I'm pretty impressed. I didn't expect it to do so well on whatever that stuff was. It was like some sort of tar, but wow, there you go. All right, so now that the wheel is completely dry and I've cleaned the rest of the vehicle too, I'll kind of show you a close-up. You can see that tire cleaner did a wicked job. It's all dry except for that little corner right there, but 2 passes with the tire cleaner, not bad. So now we're gonna go ahead and use the Tire Plus as the last part. And if you notice, this stuff is really thin. You can kind of hear that, it's very liquidy. So you could just go ahead and spray it on the vehicle and kind of wipe it in, but what I'm going to do today is use this Mother's wheel brush. No, this is not the same wheel brush that I used on the face of the wheel earlier. This is what I do with my brushes after they wear out. So these flag tip bristles eventually wear out. They become a lot more aggressive, and then I usually reserve them for either light scrubbing of the tire or most of the time application of a really thin dressing like this. So I'm just going to give it a few sprays. Just to kind of saturate it for the first time. Got some on my hand, it is pretty slippery. And then you just kind of work it in. Try not to coat the rim too much. I'm a big fan of using brushes for tire dressings now. I can't remember who I saw doing it this way. It seems to work really well. And then if you get a little bit of overspray, or not overspray, a little bit on the face of the wheel, you can just wipe it off. That looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna let it dry and we'll see what it looks like afterwards. So after letting the tires completely dry, you can see that you get this nice matte sort of new tire look finish to the tires. Not overly shiny, greasy, glossy, none of that kind of stuff. And it does dry to the touch, so you don't have to worry about fling. And now after letting it dry like this, you can drive off. But I do love how these tires finished out. The coating itself was extremely easy to apply, and there's kind of no frills to it, and it really makes the whole vehicle pop once you dress the tires like this. And if you want a shinier look to it, after it's dried, go ahead and apply a second or third layer, and they'll bump up the gloss just a little bit. Alright, now it's time for some quick final thoughts about these three products. The first thing I'll say about all three of these is that all of them work extremely well, and they all work exactly as the expectation set out by the company. So let's get that out of the way. If they didn't work, I'd throw them away, probably never buy them again. Now, aside from working extremely well, which is obviously the most important thing, they all have great shelf appeal. You gotta admit that. They have these nice smoked bottles, nice label designs, simple, clean, consistent. So to some people, that's extremely important. So if that's important to you, I think you're going to enjoy using these products. Now, before we actually get to the performance of each product, these probably are, like I mentioned numerous times in the video, by far my favorite trigger sprayers out of all. They have this awesome adjustable top here, and they just feel extremely comfortable in the hand. Plus, these two foam up really well right out of the trigger, so that's amazing. Love that. Now, in terms of pricing, the 16-ounce bottles obviously are never going to be as economical as the gallons, which all of these are available in. I typically would suggest getting the gallon because with the 16-ounce bottle, typically speaking, with most companies, you're paying mostly for the bottle and the trigger and the label. The product itself, like I'll give you a perfect example here, the tire cleaner. This is $16 Canadian for the 16-ounce, so $1 an ounce, or $11 USD. But the gallon size of it is $45 USD. And that's a gallon versus this, which is a 2 parts water to 1 part concentrate dilution. So that means the gallon is going to give you 3 gallons of what's in this bottle for $45. So if you do the math, that's a fraction of the cost. The liquid in here is probably worth, based off of that math, like $1 or less, right? So always go for the gallon if you don't care about the bottles themselves, especially if you know the product is good, in which case, if you have any faith in what I say, trust me, this product right here is an amazing tire cleaner and right up there with the best that I've used. And I'm definitely buying a gallon of this product for sure. Now, that being said, next we move on to the wheel cleaner, which I like using. It's a nice pH balanced wheel cleaner. It has a decent amount of dwell time that it stays wet on the surface because you do want it to sit there for 3 to 5 minutes as it kind of has a chemical reaction with the brake dust. It will turn purple, of course, as you saw in the video, and then you can pressure rinse or pressure wash off majority of the brake dust. I'd say 80 to 90% depending on the wheel and how it was protected. So this product right here, amazing product. Again, it works exactly as they kind of claim on the bottle. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, this is going to cost you $18 USD for the 16-ounce bottle or $70 USD for the gallon. Again, go for the gallon, much more economical, unless, of course, you want the bottles. Now, this product here does have some tough competitors because in my market, it's going to cost me $25 Canadian. And there's two other wheel cleaners, Magic Wheel Cleaner by Koshkemi and Gion Q2M Wheel Cleaner, which are exactly the same price, similar characteristics in terms of how they work, and similar performance. So this is right up there with those two products for me personally. So again, great product. This is definitely my favorite because you can use this as a maintenance cleaner at 1 to 4. And at that, it's very economical. It works better than Brake Buster, in my opinion. And you can use it to clean wheel wells, plastic surfaces, even the wheels themselves, as long as you follow general wheel cleaning protocols. So awesome product. I'm getting a gallon. This one, I might be getting a gallon. I'm not too sure yet. Now, the last but not least, the Tire Plus conditioner. Pretty standard, I'd say, in terms of tire dressings. It gives a nice matte sort of satin finish, and that's exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to my vehicles, and majority of the vehicles I clean for other people. They also prefer that sort of look. Now, you can use this once and then let it dry and then add multiple layers if you want to bump up the gloss. Nothing stopping you from doing that. It's going to work out just well, or just as well. And you can spray this onto the wheel and spread it. You can spray it onto a brush like I did. Either way, it works well. Has a nice, pleasant scent that I can't necessarily pinpoint, but it smells decent when you're working with it. Whereas these two, this is your typical iron smell or iron remover smell. This is a typical chemical smell. This one here, like I said, it's a nice, pleasant fragrance. And in my personal opinion, I think this is going to last about a week. They claim multiple weeks, but if you have a dry climate or you don't drive too much, I'd suggest maybe pushing it to the 2-week mark. But if you live in a rainy climate, 1 week. Because I did apply this on my Jeep, and then the next day it did rain and I drove the vehicle, and I would say it bumped it down a decent amount. It wasn't entirely gone. The tires are actually looking exactly how I prefer them to look, a nice black, dark look. So in a couple of days, more rain driving, it's probably going to be gone. But that being said, that's enough of that. All three of these products, amazing products. Let me know in the comments below what you think of all three of these. Have you used any of them? What would you compare them to? Are you interested in getting them? All that kind of good stuff. And if you want to get any of them, you can get them on armourdetailsupplies.com. This one here, the 16 ounce, has run out of stock, but the gallon's still there. And you can save 10% using my discount code TCDC10 if you want to save some money and try out these products. Now, that being said, if you want to check out another video for another recently featured wheel cleaner on this channel, you can check out this video that's popping up next for the Genius Detail Wheel Cleaner. Decent products out of a little company out of Alberta, so you can go check those out. But that being said, appreciate each and every single one of you that tune into my channel. I'll see you on the next one.